Welcome back, Arc Raiders. We have some things to talk about, including news from the CEO, some updates, some funny glitches, and some new Arc unit behavior. So let's dive right in. So let's start with news from the CEO. Now, he did mention in a recent interview that they did not want to focus on just more PvP elements being added onto the game, but what does that really mean? So obviously PvP is a core aspect of the game, and honestly, if you're rolling in trios or duos, you can pretty much expect it to go kill on sight almost every single time. And that is, of course, going to be affecting your aggression-based matchmaking. So if you did want to kind of get away from the PvP, this is just a reminder. Maybe play some solos or just be as friendly as you can and reset your aggression-based matchmaking. But that aside, wanted to talk about how the CEO himself is saying that, hey, if we're going to get away from more focus on PvP aspects, there had been discussion around adding a potential leaderboard into the game. And they've confirmed that they do not want to go this direction because it might instill more of a toxic kind of mindset added onto the game. And that's not what they're really going for, because at the end of the day, it is a PvP/PvE extraction shooter rather than just like an FPS PvP type of game. But also, it could instill more cheating happening into the game, so they're trying to avoid that and nip it in the bud. So Raiders, what do you think? Would you like a leaderboard added onto the game? Personally, I don't think that it's, useful for a game like this, but let me know your thoughts. Then the next interesting thing that the CEO had mentioned is going to be dividing the player base a little bit, and that is going to be adding on a trading system in an official capacity to Arc Raiders. Now, I know there already is the offshoot sites of people meeting up and trying to trade, or you're getting tons of spam messages of, want to buy, want to sell from these bot accounts or these kind of sketchy, nefarious sites as well that we won't mention again because I've already mentioned in another video. But if we were to see something official come into the game, would you want it actually? Would you want something similar maybe to like an old school Diablo type of mechanic where everyone posted their thing for the X amount of value and then you would buy it from them directly? Or do you not want this added in at all? I mean, I could go one way or the other with this. I think that if it's done correctly, it could be okay. But obviously we don't want to, ruin the economy and as well as, the reason to go out and loot, really. But we'll see if this comes to the game and if it becomes a problem or not. Then as an aside, we have to mention very quickly that Arc Raiders has, in fact, carved out its path as being the de facto king of multiplayer shooters. That's right. When it first launched, people were saying that, hey, if it's going in between Battlefield 6 or Call of Duty within the same time window, that the game's going to suffer, and we have not seen that at all. Those games have only declined where Arc Raiders has actually just continued to grow in its player base and maintain the current players that it's been holding. And I love it because it's been a breath of fresh air. This is such a unique game, and I really love the gameplay loop. So, kudos to Arc Raiders and Embark Studios on that one. Then we have the very welcomed hotfix coming to the game. Well, it's actually already instated, and that is going to be the hotfix that takes out the console command from Arc Raiders. Now, if you don't know what this did was for, especially those PC players, they were able to turn down the shaders and the fog and everything like that so they could have much better visibility, which gave them a very unique advantage up against other players and affecting the player experience for everyone else out there. So I'm very glad that this is taken out because, honestly, you're being some PvP fights and you're like, how are these people seeing me? It's so goddamn dark down these tunnels or through this fog. I shouldn't be visible, but I am. And hey, it's now been addressed and fixed, and kudos to you, Embark, for actually, listening to the players and taking this out. But then, of course, when one thing is fixed, another thing ends up to be exploited and found, and there is a new exploit going out there that is possible in trios, and that is going to be affecting the overall timer, arc unit behavior, and a lot of other things on the server wide for players. And that is if a trio goes in and takes, I think it's 1,000 ammo each, and all drops it in one little area. And once you've kind of done that, and then you add on maybe an explosive for good measure onto it, it kind of glitches out the server, and players are reporting that it's making 5-minute extraction times once you call on the button. The arc themselves are kind of just spinning around, not knowing what to do. And overall performance of the server is going down, and that is affecting all players. So if one trio decides to do this, everyone gets affected. Now, hopefully this does get addressed because that is pretty annoying. I myself have not encountered this, so I did find it very interesting when I saw it on Reddit. And I have seen some other, examples of it through videos, not just those single posts. But let me know, have you experienced this as well? And obviously, would you find it annoying? Then next up, we have new tech for the game, and leave it up to Burnt Peanut and his crew, who are very tech obsessed, to find a new kind of semi-exploit for them to use. And this is what we're calling the Moving Fortress. Now, these guys on this clip that you'll see over here have found a way of attaching barricades and zip lines to a player carrying one of those Field Depot power cells. So as you move along with it, you have a wall around you protecting you from gunfire, and it's pretty hilarious. So I gotta say, I'm probably gonna try this out myself just to see if it works. But if you've also, give this a go, has it been successful for you? Is it kind of tricky to pull off? I don't know yet because, again, I haven't tried it, but hey, looks kind of interesting. So the last thing I want to talk about is the continued argument around, hey, is the AI learning continuously, or is it already pre-programmed and they're not going to ever evolve any further? And honestly, after seeing this clip, I'm moving again more towards the AI is learning, because leapers are always surprising us. And as you can see from this video over here, a guy jumps down the zip line, and normally when you do that, especially with cover over you, you are protected from a lot of the arc units, but no, this leaper's like, absolutely not, I'm chasing you down here. And it's climbing, it's not just falling, it's working its way down towards the player, so what the hell, they might actually be learning. Well, Raiders, that's everything that I have for you today. I will see you topside, and be sure to like, subscribe, and use those hype points, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.